Okay, well, hello again. Welcome to Uncle Geoff's Easy Peasy English. And today we're looking at the present perfect and the simple past, two tenses that often get confused. For example, we had a lovely Chinese meal last night. We had last night, we know exactly when. Simple past. The action is finished, it's gone. We had a lovely Chinese meal last night. We drove across the border from Gibraltar into Spain because some of the Chinese restaurants are lovely just across the border in Spain. So we went out last night for a Chinese meal and we had a lovely Chinese meal last night. Some special fried rice, a mix of all kinds of things, seafood, meat, some vegetables. We had chicken and mushrooms. That was also a bit scrummy. And a spring roll. Something wrapped up in pastry, pastry, deep fried with vegetables and things inside. So very tasty. We had a delicious Chinese meal last night. We know when. It was last night before now. I drove across the border yesterday. Drive, drove, driven, the three forms. I drove across the border yesterday. Past simple. We know exactly when it happened. I drove yesterday. There's a time word. I drove across the border yesterday. At the moment, between Spain and Gibraltar, we have to show our passport every time we cross. And now our passport is stamped every time we go backwards and forwards. So at the moment, all UK passports are filling up. All the pages are getting full. So quite possibly in a couple of months' time, if we keep going backwards and forwards, then we'll have to apply for a new passport. So it gets a bit crazy, but that's life. So simple past, the action happened in the past, before speaking, before now, the action is finished. Present perfect is slightly different. We're just talking about something that happened sometime before now, but the exact time isn't important. Either we don't know or it's not important at all. For example, I've been to Germany, France, Switzerland, Spain, Belgium. I have been. I've been to France, Germany, Switzerland. When? We don't know. It's not important. The important thing is it happened sometime before now. I've been to France, Italy, Germany. Yeah? Lovely. I've never been. I have never been to China. I've never been to Honduras. I've never been to New Zealand. Some places I have never been to in my life. Present perfect, sometime before now. Question: have you been to London? Have you been in your life ever before now? Have you been to London? Answer: don't just say yes or no. Have you been to London? Yes, I have. Use the full answer. Have you been to London? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. The intonation is important. The sound of your voice is important. If you just say yes, it sounds very aggressive. Have you been to London? Yes. Oh, okay. Sorry I asked. Give a full answer in your reply. And if the answer is no, have you been to London? No, I haven't. No, I have not. Haven't. No, I haven't. Have not. Haven't. Give a full answer. Sometimes when I was teaching at my language school in London, one of the host families telephoned the office and said, "Uncle Geoff, can you teach the students please to say, yes I have or no I haven't? They just keep saying yes, no. Would you like some more food? No. Would you like, have you been to the cinema recently? No. Yes. It just sounds so unfriendly, so impolite. So, when you're answering a have you question, answer it with yes I have, full answer, full sentence, yes I have, or no I haven't. No I haven't, have not, no I haven't. Good, huh? Hello from Iran. Hello. Or Iraq? Iran or Iraq? I-R-I-K. Iraq. Okay. Hello from Iraq. Hello to you too. Thank you for being there. What time is it in Iraq? Here in Gibraltar, it's 6 minutes past 11 on Sunday morning. I guess you are a few hours later now, aren't you? Last night in England and in Portugal and Spain, European countries and the UK, when we get to November, we put the clocks back 1 hour, which makes life really confusing. And we do it twice a year. Once in November, when the clocks go back, and again in March or April time, March, when the clocks go forward an hour. I don't know if that happens in your country. They call it daylight saving time. It has some different names, but it's confusing at times, but there we are. Hello from Saudi. Hello, our Saudi students. Nice to have you there. And hello from, is that Mexico or Morocco? Morocco again. Hello from Morocco. I've never been to Morocco. I have never been. Present perfect. I've never been to Morocco. I've never been to Saudi Arabia. I've never been to Iraq or Iran. Can you hear the police car? Be safe. Uncle Geoff, where is your what? Where is my cup? Here is my cup. Here, a Tweety cup, a Tweety pie. Maybe you saw the old, you've seen, maybe you have seen Present Perfect in your life. Maybe you've seen the old Warner Brothers cartoons from a long time ago. Sylvester the cat and Tweety Pie, which is a kind of a cartoon-friendly fun name for Sweetie Pie. But because Sylvester the cat can't say sweetie, he says Tweety. And he also says, I taught I tore a puddy tat, because he can't say I thought I saw a pussy cat. We might do with the sounds later on. But yeah, so Tweety, my Tweety pie cup. Delicious. Let me just have a sip of tea, hang on. Hello from Germany. Hello. Oh, it's 1 p.m. in Ethiopia, 2 hours ahead, okay. So lunchtime in Ethiopia. Here in Gibraltar, it's morning tea or morning coffee time. So, yeah, present perfect and simple past. If the action has finished, use simple past. You don't always need a time word. Sometimes if it's just understood between the speakers, use simple past. If you know it, the action has finished in the past, use simple past. If it's for a time before speaking, before now, and the time isn't important, or it isn't necessary to know it, or you don't know it, use present perfect. Let me show you Uncle Geoff's board. Can you see, my favorite student, there are some things at the bottom, we'll do that in a second. Can you see this? The time of speaking, now, everything in English is seen from this point here. Now, the time of speaking. We open our mouths to speak and we see everything from now, the time of speaking. We stand here and look to the past. We stand here and look to the future. Everything is seen from now. So, back to Uncle Geoff's board. Let me take the top off my pen. The time of speaking, now. We have the past, before now. We have the future, after now. But it's all seen from now. We are here. Before now. We had a lovely Chinese meal last night. We had a lovely Chinese meal last night. We are here. Last night is here. We had a lovely Chinese meal last night. It's finished. It's gone. It's last night. It was yesterday. We had a lovely Chinese meal last night. Simple past. I drove across the border on Friday. There's Friday. Today is Sunday. Here is Friday. We drove across the border. We drove from Gibraltar to Portugal on Friday. I had to go back to Portugal to get some things, so I drove across the border on Friday. Past tense, simple past, drove. Drive, drove, driven, the third form. The second form, the first one, the imperative. Drive, drove, driven. So on Friday I drove across the border. I've been to France, Spain, Germany, Switzerland, Italy. I've been, it's some time before now. We don't know exactly when. When isn't important. The important thing is sometime before speaking. So sometime before speaking, before now, is sometime here. I have been. I have been to France, Germany, Switzerland, Portugal. I've been. I've been to. In English, we love contractions. We do it all the time. I have. I've been to London, I've been to Switzerland, I've been to Germany. Hello to Germany student that messaged us a minute ago. I've been. I've never been in my whole life before now. From when I was born, 1,000,000 years ago, to now, I've never been. I've never been to Saudi Arabia. I've never been to Iraq. I've never been to Morocco. I've never been to New Zealand. I've never been to China. I've never been. Have you been to London? Any time before now? Have you been? Make the question. Have you been to London? Have you been to London?
Yes, I have.
Very good. Perfect sentence. Who was that voice? Was that Tweety Pie? Yes, I have. The full answer. It sounds much friendlier. Have you been to New Zealand?
No, I haven't.
Perfect. No, I haven't. Not just no.
No.
Yes, it's very unfriendly, so don't do it. Use a friendly, full version. Yes, I have. Da da da. With a smile in your voice. Yes, I have. Or no, I haven't. You're sad, you're disappointed. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. So, present perfect, back in the camera. Present perfect and simple past. Easy peasy? Yes, Uncle Geoff. Yes, it is. How do you make the present perfect? You make it with the verb to have and the third form. The verb to have and the third form. I have been to. Yeah. I've been to London. I've been to Rome. I've been to Madrid. I've never been to Saudi Arabia or Morocco. Maybe one day. Present perfect, the third form, past participle. Some of the grammar names can sound quite confusing. Past participle, it's the third form. Have you got in your present perfect again? We use present perfect all the time. Have you got a grammar book, an English grammar book? When you were at school, did you have a grammar book? Past simple, when you were at school. We know the time. It's in the past. The time when you were 10, 11, 12, 15. We know the time. So it's in the past. Use past simple. Did you have a grammar book? or a dictionary. In the back of your, oh no, let me use another book. In the back of your grammar book, I'm sure you have seen a list of irregular verbs. Because in English we have regular verbs. They all end in ed. It's regular. It's a pattern. They're regular. Some English verbs don't end in ed. So they are irregular. And grammar books give you a long list. This is just some. If I put it close, can you see that? If I put it close to the camera, can you see the three forms? You've got the first one, the infinitive. You've got the next one, the simple, the past tense, the simple past tense. And then you've got the third form, the past participle. This book also calls it the passive participle. What names? Very confusing. First form, second form, third form. Easy peasy. The third one. For example, catch, caught, caught. Catch, caught, caught. The third one. The past participle. PP. Again, different teachers teach different things. They show it in different ways. They'll write different things on their board. But look at this one. Read, read, read. Read, read, read. The spelling is exactly the same, but the sound is different. But in the back of your grammar book, there are three forms to irregular verbs. So to make the present perfect, we use have and the third form, the past participle. Happy so far, my favourite students? Yes, Uncle Geoff. Okay. Let me go back to my board. Can you see that? Is everything in the picture? Yeah? Excellent. Let me get my pen again. So here, let me move my chair. Yep, still okay? Lovely. Okay. Have a look at the first sentence. Is this a good sentence? What do you think? Have you seen John last week? Is that a good sentence for you? Have you seen John last week? How does that sound to you? Is it lovely or is it horrible? Have you seen John last week? It's horrible. It's not a good sentence. Why? Because you've got a time phrase. You've got last week. If it's last week, you must use simple past. You can't use present perfect. Have you seen? You can't say, have you seen John last week? Because you've got a time phrase. So you must use simple past. And the question should be, did you see John last week? Did you see John last week? Happy? Yes. Okay. Have a look at the next sentence. I went to London in 2010. I went to London in 2010. How does that sound to you? Is that good? I went to London in 2010. Lovely. Perfect sentence. We know the time, it's in the past, a definite time in the past. For example, there. Oh, my pen stopped working, never mind. I went to London in 2010. We know exactly when it was. It was 2010, past simple. I went to London in 2010. Have a look at the next one. Sue and Alan have been married since 2 years. Sue and Alan have been married since 2 years. What do you think about that one? Is that a good sentence or is that a bad sentence? Sue and Alan have been married since 2 years. Sue and Alan have been married since 2 years. Sounds okay? No, it doesn't. Since, let me move my board and come to see you again. With present perfect, we use since and for to talk about either a period of time or a point in time before now. So since and for. Sue and Alan have been married since 2 years. Since is a point in time. So we can't say since. If it's a point in time, this is 2 years ago. Yeah. From here to here, 2 years. So because it's a period of time, you have to use for 2 years. Sue and Alan have been married for 2 years, from here to now, the time of speaking. Sue and Alan have been married for 2 years. Again in English, we don't stress every single word. Sue and Alan have been married, have been, not have been. Sue and Alan have been married 2 years. Certain words are stressed to keep the rhythm of the language, because remember, English is rhythm stressed. Da, 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 da. I went to London to see the Queen. We did that last week. Yeah. Past simple. I went to London to see the Queen. So this sentence, Sue and Alan have been married for 2 years. Sue and Alan have been married for 2 years.
Are they divorced yet, someone?
Are they divorced yet? You terrible person. No, they're not yet. They're very happy together. And I'm sure they will be married for a long, 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 long time and celebrate their golden wedding anniversary. Probably. Who knows? Lovely question, thank you. So Sue and Alan have been married for 2 years. For 2 years. Yeah, sounds good? Excellent. Have a look at the next one. What have you done last night? What have you done last night? Does that sound like a good sentence to you? What have you done last night? No, it's not a good sentence, because here we've got present perfect, what have you done, but here we've got last night. It's a definite time in the past that's finished. So you cannot use present perfect. You must use simple past. So the correct question is, what did you do last night? What did you do last night? What did you do last night? Diddle diddle. What did you do last night? Next one. I haven't eaten sushi for ages. I haven't eaten sushi for ages. Sounds good to you? Yeah, sounds good to me too. I haven't eaten sushi for ages. A long time. A period of time between here and here. The last time I ate sushi, again, use the past simple. The last time I ate was 2 years ago. Then you know the time. So past simple. If you don't know the time, use present perfect. I haven't eaten sushi for ages. Yeah, ages, a long time. We use present perfect and past simple together often, because the question, have you ever eaten sushi? Have you ever eaten sushi in your life before now? Have you ever, before now, have you ever eaten sushi? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. You can then expand the answer. Yes, I have. I ate sushi 2 weeks ago in a Japanese restaurant. So we often combine the two. We start with present perfect because we don't know exactly when, but then as the conversation develops, we start to use past simple, because then we're talking about specific times. And the last one, she's never played mahjong. She's never played mahjong. How is that as a sentence? Does that sound good to you? She's never played mahjong. She has never. She's never played mahjong. What do you mean, what's mahjong? Chinese game with little tiles, little plastic or ivory tiles, and with special symbols on, and you have to. I have played Mahjong, but I don't really understand it, not perfectly. But it's a really good game. Lots of people like it. So she's never played Mahjong. Lovely sentence in her life. Good, huh? Okie dokie.
Any questions?
Any more questions on present perfect or simple past? Yeah, so we use present perfect with for and since to talk about a period of time or a point in time. But present perfect, talk about an action that happened before now, but the exact time isn't important. If the time is important or you know the time, use past simple. Super duper. Let me have a quick sip of tea. Excellent. Oh, hello to Colombia. Hello, Colombia. We used to have, when I had my language school in England, in Bournemouth, we had a lot of students from Colombia. Hello to students in Oman. Hello, thanks for being there. And to Kurdistan. Hello to you too. How nice for you to be there. Nice to have you joining us on TikTok today. Don't forget, a bit later, maybe tomorrow, I'll upload this video to the Uncle Geoff's Easy-Peasy English YouTube channel, and then if you want to, you can watch it again. Oh no, not again, not more grammar. Yeah, it's okay. And also, of course, on the YouTube channel, there are lots of other videos about all kinds of things. Grammar, pronunciation. Oh, speaking of pronunciation, remember earlier we were talking about Tweety Pie, and because Sylvester the cat can't say sweetie, he says Tweety. Well, we're looking today at these two sounds. We're looking at s and sh. S, sh. There's no vibration here. It's just deep breath, s, and the air comes out. The tongue is kind of touching the top of the mouth a little bit. S and sh. Imagine you're going to kiss your favorite Tweety Pie, and you go shh. In England, or in most English-speaking countries, if we want someone to be quiet or to speak quietly, we go shh, meaning please be quiet. Some countries, Germany, I think, they make a s sound, but in England we go shh. So today we're looking at s and sh. On the phonetic chart, we've got so and ship. So and ship. So have a look at these. Here are some words. Can you see those? All in, can you see this top bit? This is the s sound, the phonetic s and sh. S, sh, s, so. What did I write? Oh, shop. So and shop. Have a look at these words to practice the s and sh. First one. See, see, see. And she. You see with your eyes, and she, girl, he, she. See, she. Look at this one. Sell, shell, sell. A shopkeeper sells goods in his shop. A shell, something you find on the seashore. Sell, shell. Sell, shell. Next to. Said, 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 and shed, shed. Said, shed. Said, past tense, simple past of say. Say, said, said. Say, said, and shed. A little wooden house in your garden. If you have a garden and you keep the tools in your shed. A little wooden house in the garden. Said, shed. Seat and sheet. Pronunciation is important. Be careful with those. Seat. You sit on a seat or chair. Seat. Sheet. The big cloth, the big piece of material you put on your bed. Probably. Or a sheet of paper. A sheet of paper. So seat, sheet. Have a look at these words. You've got sock and shock. Sock. You put a sock on your feet and then you put your shoes on. Sock and shock. If you're frightened. Halloween is tonight. Maybe you'll see ghosts and things, and maybe the next door neighbour will shock you, be frightened. So sock and shock. Saw and shore. Saw, past tense of see. See and saw. Shore, the water by the beach, by the ocean. You walk along the beach, you walk along the shoreline. Saw, shore. Saw, shore. Look at the shape of the mouth. Sock, saw, see, sell, and the other ones, the mouth is a bit more rounded. She, shell, shock, shore. Yeah. Look at these. Sew and show. Sew. You sew with a needle and thread, needle and cotton. You can sew things together. Sew. Sew and show. Sew, show. And sip and ship. Sip, ship. You sip your tea. Just a tiny, tiny drink. Sip and ship. The boat in the water. Sip, ship. Practice some sounds. This practices the s sound. The prince, the prince, the prince, and princess. The prince and princess. The prince and princess. And these two, the sh sound. English, English, dictionary, English dictionary, English dictionary, dictionary, sh, English dictionary. So the two sounds, s and sh. And the last thing on this, she sells seashells on the seashore. Try again, Uncle Geoff. She sells seashells on the seashore. And you can try it slowly to begin with. We call these tongue twisters because the tongue doesn't quite know where to go in the mouth. It's up, down, forwards, round, wherever. So it's a tongue twister. She sells seashells on the seashore. Lovely. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells yeah, okay, like that. She sells seashells on the seashore. One you can practice often to have fun. You can practice, and there are lots of tongue twisters in English like that. Good. Hello to anybody else?
Yeah, hello.
Oh, hello to Peru. Hello, Peru. Wow. And hello to Libya. In Peru, it's quite early in the morning still, isn't it, I think? Maybe, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning? I think early. Who sent a message earlier?
Argentina.
Was it, yeah, Argentina, that was 3 o'clock in the morning. And Honduras was 6 o'clock, or was it the other way around? But we had some messages earlier. I was saying, what time are you on in Honduras? And what time in Argentina? And one of them was like 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you're staying up, thank you. 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe you just set the alarm early. Hungary, hello to Hungary. Oh, lives in the UK, but from Hungary. Excellent. How are you getting on with your English? My favourite Hungarian student. Is it okay? Not too bad.
Is this sentence correct?
Is this sentence correct? I've been to London two times. We prefer twice. Yeah. I've been to London twice. We don't usually say 2 times. We'd say twice. I've been to London twice. It's a lovely sentence. Why? Because we don't know the exact time you went. Just that it happened before now. Let's go back to my board. Yeah, I've been to London. I've been to London twice. We don't know when. Just twice before now. I've been to London twice. You can say, I went to London in January and in March, the 2 times that you went, but as a sentence, and you don't say the exact time, I've been to London twice. That's lovely. And hello to Brazil, where it's 7:30 in the morning. Yeah. So early. I think you need an early morning cup of tea or an early morning cup of coffee. So hello, Brazil. And of course you speak Portuguese in Brazil. And on Friday, I was in Portugal. And they also speak Portuguese. I have been learning Portuguese for 7 years. I've been learning Portuguese for 7 years.
What can you say in Portuguese?
Nothing. I can say bom dia, obrigado, but my Portuguese is terrible. But only a few words. And I lived, back to simple past, I lived in Portugal for 6 years. Now I live in Gibraltar. But I lived in Portugal. So we start with present perfect, and we finish with simple past, because then the time becomes important. And which book shall I buy? Yeah, well, there you're looking into the future. Shall?
No, the person wants to know what book should.
Oh, it's a question. I thought it was just a grammar question. Sorry. Oh, which book shall I buy? Well, I would, if you've got lots of money, buy 3 books. Buy three things. 1, a grammar book for your level. If you are elementary or pre-intermediate, buy a book for that level. Let me show you. Oh, this one. This is a grammar book. It's got basic, yeah, which is elementary and pre-intermediate. Oxford Practice Grammar. Lovely book. I recommend it because it's a good book. It's full of exercises, grammar exercises. Starts at present simple and it goes on through to present continuous, past continuous, present perfect, modals, conditionals, you name it, it's here. So that's a good book. But buy a grammar book for your level now. If you're elementary or pre-intermediate, buy one for that level. If you are intermediate level or upper intermediate, go for the next. If you're advanced, go for the higher book. But buy a grammar book for your level. It's the same thing with the dictionary. We talked about this last Sunday. Again, this dictionary is for elementary and pre-intermediate, but you can get dictionaries for intermediate students, upper intermediate, advanced. Buy a dictionary for your level. And again, if you have some money, buy graded readers. And by that, I mean a book that's written, the words are changed slightly to make it easier for you as a student to read, because the most boring thing in the world is that maybe you get an English book from the library. And you think, okay, I'm going to learn English, I'm going to read this English book. But it's written for native speakers, and native speakers will understand most of the words in that book. If you are a student of English, you won't. It'll be too difficult, and you will be forever looking in a dictionary for the meaning of the word, and then it's just boring. Then why do you want to read? You read to enjoy the story, to enjoy whatever the book is about. So buy a dictionary for your level and buy a reader for your level. You can get graded readers about films, famous books, you name it, you can find them online. But buy it for your level. If you're advanced, buy an advanced graded reader. If you're elementary, lower level. Where do you live in Portugal? In the Algarve. Have you heard of Lagos? It's in the Algarve, on the slightly western Algarve in Portugal, southern Portugal. And so we lived and worked around Lagos. Beautiful, beautiful. Nice and peaceful, very quiet. Here in Gibraltar, it's very noisy. There's lots of traffic. The weather is not as nice as Portugal. Across the border in Spain, the weather is often nicer because in Portugal we have a big rock, a little mountain. It's a big rock, but it's a little mountain, and it's quite famous. They have monkeys up there, or apes, and it's quite famous. The problem is Gibraltar is between the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. And the problem with Gibraltar is that the weather, the cloud, the hot air comes off of the Mediterranean, goes up the mountain, and then gets cold from the cold air from the Atlantic. And so the cloud sits on the top of the rock most of the day. And so Gibraltar is cloudy all morning, and the sun comes out in the afternoon. But across the border in Spain, it's hot and sunny most of the day, which is really strange. So maybe, don't tell anybody, but maybe we'll go back to Portugal eventually. But at the moment, we're in Gibraltar. How do you drink your tea? I put it in the cup and I go. That's how I drink my tea. Do you mean with milk, or do you mean with sugar, or how do I make my tea? What do you mean exactly? How do you drink your tea? Different ways. English customs. This is a mug. Yeah, it's a mug. A cup is slightly more. Let me get my pen. A cup looks a bit prettier. Let me put that. I'll just draw a little picture. Hang on a second. Do that. Okay. A cup with a saucer. Yeah. A cup. It's prettier, and usually English people drink their tea. They hold on to the cup, and it's a bit more difficult with a mug because it's so heavy. But a cup, you can hold on to the handle, and then you put your little finger out. It's very difficult with a mug because it's too heavy. But with a cup, you can hold the handle. The handle is smaller on a cup. You hold the handle and then you stick your little finger out and then go. And if you watch English people on holiday, if where you live there are English people visiting, and you see them in the coffee shop or the cafeteria, or maybe you have a tea shop near where you live. If you watch the English, they will hold their, not all, but lots, will hold their teacup, if it's a cup, and their other fingers will be sticking out to the side, and they will sip their tea very elegantly. So yeah, sip. How long did you live in Portugal? 6 years. 6 years. 6 years in Portugal, and we came to Gibraltar recently, very recently. But again, good question. How long did you live? Because you're asking about a time in the past. More students from Saudi. Hello, nice to have you. Yeah, we get lots of on Uncle Geoff's website, on Uncle Geoff's YouTube channel. I often get messages from Saudi students, which is lovely. So hello guys. Is it a good idea to watch like TV series in English? Yes, it is. And no, it isn't. There are two reasons why. Yes, it is because you hear natural spoken English. Some of the problems with natural spoken English is that they speak very fast and it's difficult to understand exactly what's being said. One good thing about a TV show is that you see the pictures. So you get an idea of, hopefully, fingers crossed, what they are talking about. Not always, but sometimes. If you watch TV series like a soap, you heard of soap operas like EastEnders, Coronation Street, famous TV series that have been running for like 20, 30, 40 years, a long, long time. Neighbours from Australia, well-known TV series. Yes, a good idea to watch them. You'll hear the rhythm of the language. The problem with some of them, EastEnders is the East End of London, so you have a London accent. Coronation Street is the north of England, so you get a Manchester accent. Neighbours is Australia, so you get an Australian accent. If you are studying IELTS or First Certificate or Proficiency, any of the big exams, then it's a good idea to watch them because you hear the different accents. And if you are doing the exams for IELTS or First Certificate or Advanced, then on the listening exercises you will hear different accents. Excuse me. So then it's a good idea. But sometimes it's difficult to understand what's being said. But to hear the natural spoken English, if in your country you don't hear much English, then it's a good idea to watch series and movies and films in English. And again, another problem with movies, with films, is that sometimes the language is either too difficult to understand or they use bad words, offensive words, which are not so nice. And so don't learn them. Hello from Barcelona. Hello guys. Thank you for being there as well. I've never been to Barcelona. One day, I'm sure. She watches Doctor Who. Peter Capaldi drove her nuts. Yeah, made you crazy. Yeah, now they've got a lady Doctor Who, but she's finishing soon, and so I think they will have a new series.
Oh, really?
The lady actress is in Doctor Who for this new series. It starts soon in England, next weekend, I think, or maybe this weekend, I'm not sure, but it starts very soon. But she's finishing. Hello from Normandy, where it's raining today. Actually, the weather across the UK, France, and I think here in Gibraltar, Portugal too, is going to be wet and windy for a few days. But then maybe next Friday the weather should be a bit better. But hello guys from Normandy, bonjour. Subtitles good or not? Again, yes or no, depends. Again, sometimes if you're watching films, the problem with subtitles is that you're not listening, you're reading. And if you want to listen to natural spoken English, then subtitles are not a good idea, because all you're doing then is looking down at the bottom of the screen and reading the words. If the film or TV show is in another language, maybe then you need subtitles. But if you're watching English and they have subtitles, not so good, because then you're practicing your reading skills rather than your listening skills. So I'm not a big fan of subtitles. In certain situations, yes, but in other situations, no. Okay.
One more thing. In and on. Oh yeah.
In
In
and
the
on.
sofa. On the sofa. In the bus.
Okay.
On the bus.
In and on. If you are inside something, then you are in. If you are on a level, you are on. For example, the sofa. You are on the sofa. Because there are two seats, there is space around you. You are on. If it's an armchair, you are in the armchair. Why? Because there are arms to rest on and you are enclosed. So you are in, you sit in an armchair, but you sit on a sofa. Lovely English prepositions. You know, in the, have you seen The Simpsons? The cartoon show The Simpsons? When they all rush in and they all sit on the sofa, all members of the family sit on the sofa. It's on because there's space to move. An armchair is in because it has arms. I don't know if you can see my chair, but I have arms on my chair, so I'm sitting in a chair. If there are no arms, you sit on a chair. So, lovely prepositions. You are on a bus because you have to step up to another level and there's space around you. So, you are on a bus. You are on a train because there's space around you. You are on a ship because it's big, it's space around you. I'm sitting, two possibilities with aeroplane. I'm sitting in an aeroplane because it's a bit more enclosed, and again you've got arms to the chairs. So you sit in a car because you put yourself into it, you shut the door and you're sitting in. You are in a taxi because it's enclosed. There's not a big space around you. So in and on. Your voice is like the English listening exercises. Yes. It isn't me, but it's similar. Somebody asked me that a few years ago. Can I hear you on my CD listening exercises? No, but it's similar. My voice is similar because I work on the radio and I do listening exercises, not on CDs or for language schools, but I do some listening audio videos.
Can you show a student the book again? I want to see the book.
Well, there's this book. This is just the basic grammar book. It's not a course book where you have different lessons. Let me open it up a little bit for you. Take that away. So here.
Stop moving too much, so maybe some noise from the microphone.
Oh, okay. Like in this book, second conditional. It's just lots of grammar exercises, phrasal verbs. They have little tests after every few units, and you can practice some of the things you learn. They give you examples and then practice sentences, verbs and prepositions, adverbs and adjectives, some, any, some and any, yeah, modal verbs, need or needn't, can and could. So lots of different grammar points. Oxford Practice Grammar. It's a good one. With answers, so then you can check, when you do the exercises, you can check your answers at the back of the book. Yeah? So Oxford Practice Grammar, that's a good one. This particular one comes with a practice CD-ROM, so you can put it in the computer. But yeah, Oxford Practice Grammar, that one's good. But that's for basic.
Who is the author of this book?
Author, Norman Coe. This is written by 3 people. Norman Coe, Mark Harrison, and Ken Patterson. So maybe you can take a picture of the screenshot, maybe. But that's a good one. That's published by Oxford. The dictionary, also published by Oxford. Again, it depends on your level. Check the bookshop, check online. This is Oxford Essential. Oxford do good dictionaries, Longman, Cambridge, I think Pearson do. There are lots of different dictionaries. I just happen to like Oxford, one of my favourites. But choose one that looks good to you. Have a look through. Again, for lower level, this is full of pictures and really good explanations. And in the middle of the book, motorbike, moped, scooter. So you can see those. And in the middle of the book, some nice colour things, pictures about the weather, sports and hobbies, fruit and vegetables. So the lower level, you're looking for vocabulary. And so this particular dictionary, which is the reason I got it, is because there are some good pictures in there, good descriptions, and some nice pictures to build your vocabulary. And it's also got a list of verbs at the end, of irregular verbs, which is good.
Okay. Question.
Question.
Difference between in and inside.
In and inside. Inside is more with, let me show you this. These pieces of paper are inside the book. You put money inside an envelope. It's really enclosed. In, there may be, like I am sitting in a room. There's a lot more space around me. Inside is physically putting it inside. Yeah? You could use in, it's true. I'm just putting these pages in the book. Fine. But inside is a slightly more, the picture is more in closed, sealed, safe with inside.
Okay. Another question. How to find out the level of their English?
How to find out the level? If you go online, some places, if you go to a language school, they will give you a test and then put you in the right class. But you can check online. Different. If you put on a search for online English tests or something like that, and then you can get an idea of what level you are. If you answer the first few questions but find it very hard to answer the rest, then you're probably elementary. If you do the first quarter, you're probably elementary. Do a bit more, you're probably pre-intermediate. Answer some more questions correctly, then you're intermediate, and so on. If you answer them all correctly, you don't need to learn your advanced or proficient. But even then, even advanced students, you're always learning. No matter what level you are always learning. And some advanced students, some proficiency English students still make mistakes with since and for, and some of the basic present perfect situations. They still make errors. So you're always learning. But the good thing is the better you get. It's like, let me show you something else quickly before we finish.
I'll finish, yeah. I've got a couple more questions.
Oh, okay. Let me just draw a little picture of a tree with my teacup. Okay. Okay, this is my tree. I should have done it in green. This is the picture of a tree. These are the branches at the top of the tree. Another colour pen. When you are learning English, you start at elementary and you just learn this amount of grammar. You get a bit better, pre-intermediate, you learn a bit more grammar. There's no new grammar. It's still only present simple, past simple, present perfect, present, but you just learn a few more things. You learn present perfect continuous. You go a bit higher and you're still only in this amount of learning. The higher you get, when you get to upper intermediate, it's moving out a little bit. There's a bit more in that space. There's a bit more. When you get to advanced, again, there's still no new grammar. It's still present simple, past simple, future perfect, future continuous, present perfect. It's still the same grammar. There's no new grammar. It's just that you're learning more ways to use it. So here, from what was here at elementary or pre-intermediate, is now all of this, because it's branching out in different ways, yeah? And so you're learning more and more vocabulary, more and more usage, you're learning how to use the language. So the more advanced you get, you're spreading out and learning much more.
Apparently you're inside someone's heart today.
Oh, good, thank you. Whoever you are, thank you very much.
Okay, quick question. In and at, different.
In and at. I'm in the hospital. I'm in the hospital. I'm being treated, so the doctor is looking after me. I'm probably in the hospital bed because I'm ill. I'm in the hospital. I'm at the hospital. I've gone to visit somebody. So I'm not in there permanently. I'm there for a short visit and I can go again. Lovely. Or I'm standing outside. Where are you? Where are you, Uncle Geoff? Oh, I'm at the hospital. Where are you, Uncle Geoff? Oh, I'm in the hospital. Oh my goodness, what's wrong? So in and at, a quick explanation of the difference. Anything else?
When are you going bowling again?
When am I going bowling again? Maybe next week.
That's what I said.
I haven't been for a few weeks. I must go bowling again. I went a week or two ago. I was rubbish. Very bad. So I need to practice. Like my Portuguese, I need to practice. So I'll go again.
Okay.
That's it?
Yeah, I
no
think
more
that's
questions?
all for today.
Thank you, lovely. Again, we'll do it again next Sunday, maybe a different time. We might do it a little bit later in the day. So you haven't got to wake up too early, but we'll see.
One more question.
Oh, one more. Oh,
Which
no.
part of London do you recommend for a visitor?
Oh, well, if you visit London and you stay somewhere around Westminster, where all the tourist areas are, you can walk around all the tourist areas easily. If you stay outside, you have to get the tube, the underground, you have to get the train or the bus into the city. But if you stay somewhere in the middle, then it's easy. You're walking distance to lots of places. Houses of Parliament, Big Ben, Trafalgar Square, Buckingham Palace. You're close to everything. You can walk everywhere and get a feel for the city. And then now and again, jump in a taxi to go a bit further, maybe to the British Museum or Madame Tussauds or different places. But yeah, but London's lovely. Okay, thank you so much for being there. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned some things. Next Sunday.
What are you going to talk about next?
I don't know yet.
Put your questions.
But if you've got it, if you'd like me to talk about something in particular, send an email, unclejeefFenglish@gmail.com. Yeah, Uncle Geoff English, one word. unclejeefFenglish@gmail.com. Send an email, or put a message on you can put a message on TikTok. Put a message on YouTube, on one of the YouTube videos, and I'll see it. So happy learning, happy studying, keep practicing, do it with rhythm. Thanks for being there. We'll see you next time on Uncle Geoff's Easy Peasy English. Bye-bye for now. This is like the news on TV when they put all the papers together. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.